they are transitioning men that are transitioning to women. So I believe they want to be called she, and I'm trying to call them what they want to be called. And yes, I'm confused too. And so, as are many of you in the chat. Urban infidel. Are they all men pretending to be women? Yes. Well, transitioning. Yes. And that's what, and they use, when they speak in some of the writings on this, they've used pronouns that make it even more confusing to me. So that, and again, I'm not trying to be disrespectful to anyone, but I find this tremendously confusing. Diane from the chat, state of Massachusetts, city of Worthington has made themselves a sanctuary city of the trans. Maybe the rest of the group will be caught there. I think it's Worthington. I might be wrong. I don't know much about that.
Worcester, I know Worcester just passed a law, an ordinance or a proclamation that they're going to be a trans and sanctuary city. Yeah, right. Maybe that's what they're thinking of.
Chickadee's Raven from the chat. As far as I can tell, the only biological female is Teresa Youngblood. The rest all seem to be biological males. Okay.
I think that's correct. Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you, Chickadee's Raven. As I said, I don't mean to disrespect anyone, but I find this a little bit confusing also. From the chat, Walter Kozlavi. Wow, never heard of this group in Australia. What Kool-Aid were they drinking? Well, you know, what we're more concerned about is that what were they up to? And that's what we're counting on at some point, the FBI to let us know. Please, FBI, let us know what the results are of this investigation. They have kept so quiet about this group that all we know about is the murders. And that they had to tell us about because you can't hide murders. But what was their ultimate goal? Was there a terroristic angle? Was there an angle of doing damage through, ransomware, say, by ransomware with computers and things like that? We don't know. We know that they were involved in these 4 murders that you see. And the folks that were most involved, of course, you see up on the screen, Teresa Youngblood, the top left of the thumbnail. She, we believe, fired the rounds that killed Border Officer Mayland. And then next to her is Maximilian Schneider. And he has been arrested for killing Curtis Lind, who you see in the middle of this thumbnail. So an extremely violent group here. And beyond the murders, though, we don't know. Was there some master plan to commit some kind of crimes that we have yet to uncover, Mike?
Yeah, there may not have been at this point. When you look at Jack LaSota and you look at this group, they seem to have a lot of smarts, but they do seem to have very spotty employment. They're always moving. He came from Alaska on that tugboat that sank, and then they were living for a short period of time on a sailboat, and that's how they met Mr. Lind, and then became his tenants out in Vallejo, California, and they were renting like an RV and some sort of box truck from him before they killed him, and then they then they went across the United States, and they ended up in North Carolina for a while, living very roughly. Same thing, box trucks. And using solar panels for electricity so they could run their computer. And so they end up in Vermont, the same thing, because they were looking at Zako's property, because Michelle Zako had bought some property after she probably got a settlement from her parents' estate. But you're looking at that, and maybe at this point, they're so on the run, they don't have a good foundation, a base to work from to maybe come up with an idea of, okay, we're going to do some ransomware attacks or something like that. Let's get ourselves into positions where we can do that. It could be that they were still in the forming stage, because remember, it seems like they started with partly as an offshoot of Antifa in the San Francisco Bay Area. They seem to have joined the rationalist movement out there, again, in the San Francisco area. they break off from them, and so they have their own little Zizian group. It could be that they're metastasizing, whatever the proper term might be, and they hadn't yet fully reached a mature state where they could actually come up with an organization and a hierarchy and a plan to actually do some of those things. But given enough time, and if they had the stability and the employment and the money coming in, they could have been very dangerous.
100%, Mike. Folks, this is Police Off the Cuff, real crime stories. If you like real crime, true crime from a police perspective, you're in the right place. If you're not subscribed, hit that red subscribe button on the screen. Give us a thumbs up. Hit the like button. Share us with your friends and your family. If you want to contribute to us financially, we have a Patreon with 4 different levels, and we also have a YouTube channel memberships with count of 5 different levels. And we appreciate all our fans, our friends, and subscribers that keep this channel growing and going.